At the end of episode 6 of season 2, it's implied that Stolas, and thus Blitz, will in fact get an Asmodean crystal. But what does this mean for the future of the show? Well, my theory today is that it's not only going to be a bit dramatic, but that it will ultimately make things worse for Blitz and Stolas' relationship, despite Stolas giving it to Blitz in an attempt to make things better. Now, the next episode is going to be about Mammon and Fizzaroli, but following that, we are going to get an episode titled Full Moon. The full moons are, of course, when Blitz goes to visit Stolas so he can use the grimoire for his monthly ritual. This allows a sort of officialness to their arrangement. Stolas does actually need the book for work, and it forces Blitz to commit to a night with him instead of constantly making excuses and trying to see him as little as possible. However, after the events at Ozzy's club, Stolas has come to realize that he's holding Blitz too close with this arrangement and started looking for ways to help Blitz maintain his business without needing the grimoire. From the Asmodean grimoire, after a fan translated the runes on the page, we learn that Asmodeus is able to provide Asmodean crystals to his population of succubus, which Stolas notes as being among the only ones able to travel freely to Earth. While some of these crystals do make it to the black market, Blitz didn't seem to find a way to get his hands on one to use permanently, and stealing the grimoire from Stolas became his best bet. These jewels can allow you easy travel to Earth as well as give you a human disguise so you can blend in there. Now at first, Asmodeus said he couldn't do it, since Fizzaroli had his grudge against Blitz, but after Blitz saved Fizzaroli and Stolas helped Asmodeus avoid a horrible contract that would have led to Fizzaroli dying anyways, the episode ended with them agreeing to let Stolas have the crystal so Blitz could keep his business going. Now the consequences for this are going to be very interesting. First off, Blitz will be able to access a more natural human disguise, allowing him to blend in with humans the way Stolas and Luna are able to. Luna's disguise seems to be store-bought hell magic, but the Asmodean crystal has this feature built in as part of its use for succubus on Earth, who need to look like humans to seduce unexpecting victims. The portals can be used by other demons as well, as we see Blitz using a random incubus's portal in the episode where we meet his sister, but the disguise, I imagine, only works for the person actually wearing it. Moxie and Millie could get their own magic disguises too, since that's what Luna did, but I imagine the show will just have Blitz with an extra human-looking disguise for now, and Moxie and Millie still shuffling around in their silly outfits. Now, the biggest thing this will do for Blitz is give him the space he needs, and that is why Stolas wants this. He was trying to force a relationship to develop with Blitz by insisting on a bare minimum as part of their arrangement, and hoping that love would blossom naturally from there, but this has failed. While Blitz does seem to care about Stolas somewhere inside of him, Blitz believes that all the royals are incapable of a real relationship with an imp, particularly someone like Blitz, and that Stolas is only acting like he loves Blitz for the time being. With this crystal, Blitz would not have to be there every month, as Stolas will still do his job without it, and the Asmodean crystal is free for Blitz to use as needed. It would make everything Blitz and Stolas do from here on out entirely Blitz's choice. And while that is a healthy mindset based off of what they've been through, it's also the opposite of what has made their relationship work and what little positive ways that it has for Blitz. What little feelings Blitz does have for Stolas comes from the fact that Blitz is able to be his worst self and still have someone like Stolas clinging to him, insisting on their arrangement. While he says this is just an act that Stolas puts up, Blitz has to say that because he can't let himself believe that someone like Stolas could ever actually like him for the long haul. Blitz wants someone to die with, to be there for him until the end, or him for them, but he believes Stolas will get bored with him eventually. The only way for Blitz to know that he is wanted is for Stolas to go out of his way to make Blitz a part of his life. While Stolas may have gone too far with how their arrangement was established, Blitz seems to find security in someone not giving up when he's behaving poorly and trying to get away. Now, there's a lot of ways this episode could go in the beginning, and I'm not really sure what their plan is yet. It could start as a very awkward reunion that's kind of cute and clumsy, with Stolas trying to work his way to talking about the Asmodean crystal, and Blitz starting to lean into their roles. Stolas, however, trying to give Blitz space, would be ignoring Blitz's advances just when he's first starting to give them. The real kicker would be when Stolas gives Blitz the Asmodean crystal. Since Blitz needs that insistence from Stolas to feel wanted, he would feel like this is actually Stolas trying to get rid of Blitz entirely. I imagine this night to end up going horribly wrong at this point, with Blitz feeling like a fool for setting himself up to try and enjoy the dynamic he had become trapped in, only to feel like he was being kicked out of it. At the end of the day, Blitz will get what he seemed to want, a way to travel to Earth without having to worry about Stolas and their impending visits, and of course, he would find himself missing that. All that being said, there is a chance this goes the other way. In a previous video, I talked about how the episode following this one is called Apology Tour, and could focus on Blitz trying to apologize to everyone he feels that he is wronged. This seems to be a response to his recent adventure in the Green Ring with Fizzarolli. After years of being mad at Blitz for starting the circus fire that crippled Fizzarolli, it was revealed that Blitz only did this by accident and had tried to make contact with Fizzarolli after the fact. Realizing that Blitz had not hated Fizzarolli, but seemingly even had feelings for him, Fizz was able to forgive Blitz for what happened, and it was a surprisingly happy way to end the episode. That being said, Blitz may actually get the Asmodean crystal and realize that on some level, he owes Stolas an apology too. Stolas abused his power by holding the one thing over Blitz's head what he needed to do his business for a monthly carnal arrangement, but all of this started because Blitz came back to Stolas' mansion to rob him, just like he did as a child for his father. When Blitz got wrapped up with Stolas in person, he had no problem attacking and then seducing Stolas in order to get the book. In the morning, Blitz didn't try to make an arrangement with Stolas for the book, but instead tried to continue stealing it before crashing into Stella's tea party and irrevocably changing Stolas' marriage and family life. Blitz, upon receiving the Asmodean crystal and perhaps even hearing that Fizzarolli made sure he got it, might realize the power of forgiveness and not have a meltdown against Stolas, but be inspired to try and make things right with others as well. However cool that idea is, I still lean heavily towards Blitz and Stolas having more drama. They'll still have reasons to keep bumping into each other in the latter half of Season 2, but I imagine a lot of the story to come will be about how Blitz and Stolas are now that they aren't in this cyclical arrangement that defines the way they live. This will be an opportunity for both characters to figure out who they are without each other, and of course to see what they might miss about each other. Already in episode 2 of Season 2, they seem to have missed each other after their time apart, and I imagine there's been even more tension since Ozzy's and then Stolas' subsequent hospitalization. Now that they don't have to see each other, Blitz will probably be upset, but eventually he'll double down on wanting to be in Stolas' life in some form, and when the opportunity arises, he'll probably take it, even if it's just another facade of an arrangement. The show is said to have a 4-season plan by VivziePop on Twitter, and I doubt it will get perfectly resolved by the end of Season 2, and whatever the characters are going through in the second half of the season will probably just be setting up another interesting new dynamic for the characters to explore in Season 3. This will probably be a 4-season arc that has them slowly dealing with their issues and dynamic before finding a proper balance that works for them in the very end. But what do you think, and how long have you been thinking this? We're all very concerned. Let me know how concerning your thinking is in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.